Since confusion. The world has convinced the man he shouldn't have to provide. It's okay not to provide. Hmm.
That right there is the point women are trying to make. A certain collective of men are convinced that they don't have to provide for the woman. Now you got these so-called high value men that don't expect the woman to provide. The only thing the woman's supposed to do is work because it's his money and she don't be spending up his money, work. Or some of them don't care if she work, as long as she come, get down on her knees and submit to head, which to me is downgrading, I think. But these men that don't feel like they, or that he said the society convinced them that they don't have to provide, that's what they expect from women who provide everything.
Like she gotta provide too. Hey, what's wrong with the woman making all the money? I can stay at home. Okay, I mean, that's done before. But as a man is
And that's exactly what a lot of these women are hearing. Why can't she provide too? Oh, she provide everything. Anyway.
essentially, that is the title that normally goes along with man, is providing. Women carry babies, not men. No matter how much
And we see they're trying to change that with Akon saying they don't need a woman to have a baby. We want to high know all you need is a sperm. Women don't create kids. No, women don't create children. The creation is made in their wombs, and they carry it to term. So Akon saying what he say, we trying to figure that out. How in the world can all you need to do is put a sperm in a petri dish and grow a baby, and somebody throw it out there, something about stem cells. Well, they grow arms and legs and whatever, tools to use, so you want to start growing babies like that without a woman. Where you going to get the stem cell from? You're going to pull the female, you're going to pull the feminine part of the man from him. And creating, my thing is, you don't need a woman to create a baby. Literally don't get nothing from a woman, not nothing. Everything you need to create a baby by yourself will come from you. While women go on living a blissful life, doing them, hanging out with their girlfriends. This is living life, because it ain't all about sex. Sex is just something to do, create babies. Then this system of things.
science they try to do to change that. The women carry the babies. The men help make the babies. They provide the seed, and they're able to go out and still move around while the woman goes through the process of motherhood and preparing the child in her oven, which is the stomach.
And at the same time, they expect these women to be able to do everything, work, clean, get down on their knees and submit to head and all of that. They really expect all of that while she's carrying a baby. Literally. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Right? So while she's cooking up the baby, the men still can move around and operate as usual. right? Doing what he want to do. So while the man is doing that, why do you think that is? Because the man has to provide because the woman is unable.
I remember my sister told me one time about a man that she was talking with, and he was expressing to her about his wife. The fact that his wife was pregnant with twins. I remember she was pregnant with the twins. He was mad at her. He literally said he was mad at her because she couldn't get up and cook and do and have relations with him. You know, to do every single thing she'd been doing before she got pregnant. He was mad about that. And I was asking him, he said, well, how you expect her to do all that? He really was upset. Men really feel that way. While a woman is unable to do certain things while she is carrying this, she's going through this process of life being created in her. Like you say, she don't create the life. The man don't create the life. The necessary process come together, and life is created.
Her feet are swollen. And she's growing.
And it's a shame that a man have to tell a man that, as if they don't see that. A lot of times they don't see it, they don't care. But then you can sit there and show it to them. Legs are swollen, feet are swollen, face are swollen. You can't hardly move. And the man look at you as if you just putting on. Because he can't imagine that process. So he has no empathy, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
Another person inside of her. He's creating life. So the man's job is to provide. He's to work hard. He's to lift everything. He's the man that's helping, keeping everything together where she could rest. Because she has an important task. She has to birth the world. So a man's job has always been to provide.
And protect.
Why is that a crime? Why is that sexist? Why is that looked at and frowned upon? As if somebody gave you a sense of a duty that says men are superior. No, provide means just that. Provide. I don't need no man to provide nothing for me. Okay, maybe you don't. But that.
And the reason women say that, and I've heard women say it, I don't know if men's mind can comprehend this, but women say that because men like, well, you're not getting my money, this is my money. I'm not taking care of you, I ain't this, I ain't that. So women, because women went through that, mothers teach their daughters, don't depend on no man. Because we know we go back to our my parents are solid generation. I don't know what you call their parents. But they had to tell them, don't depend on a man. Get out there, especially after, I guess this all come after the World War II, 1945, whenever it started. Don't depend on a man to take care of you, to do this and do that. And there are reasons mothers, solid generation, taught their baby boomers that. Now, we baby boomers saw our silent parents. And then we come up, speaking from experience, didn't happen to me, but saw it with my own eyes. Baby, that ain't my baby. I ain't been there. No, man, I ain't messing up with the girl. Girls having these babies. Baby ain't none of mine. That's when I first saw it. Because I knew it was coming to this. Because back then in 1979, the boy said, and I know at least 3 people, and 2 of them specifically, I ain't touched that girl. Man, you think I touched the ugly girl? That ain't my baby. I ain't that girl pretty. I don't know who that is. And the thing about it is, these girls will be virgins, and these boys would know that. And then they would say the baby ain't none of that. They would slander the girl's name. And then these girls got to take care of these babies. So when they have their babies, the baby boomers, those baby boomers in the 70s, 80s, have their babies, they're going to teach their children, don't depend on a man. That's because they was left alone by a man. And a lot of these girls were virgins out of their mama's house. People act like these girls were loose in the street, but they weren't. Back in the 70s and the 80s, I came out 79. So in the 80s, seeing all of this, it's like, it weren't no loose, well, maybe in the city limits, because I didn't grow up in the city. I grew up in the deep country south sticks. And everything I learned at school. Everything I know from school. Because we live in the sticks. We run around with people doing all kind of stuff. Whatever they did went on in their house. We ain't know nothing about nobody's house unless they telling it. Or unless we in their house when they fighting and cussing and doing whatever they doing. But the thing is, baby boomers, and that's my error, because I see with my own eyes, on my graduation day, I graduated high school, then I went back. They said we didn't have to come back that week, but I went back one more day to look at the school, because I had a lot of love going to school, and I don't know why. But, and I saw this incident with my little cousin, when that dude said what he said. Yeah, she's pregnant. How you know she's pregnant? Look at her. Tell me. They tell me, it must be your baby. It ain't my baby. I ain't in it. That's what I realized right then and there. Thank God I said no to every man from first grade to graduation. No, I mean to every boy. No. I had to experience something and know I didn't want myself to change from the innocent version that I was. I knew I didn't know what the change would be. But I absolutely know whatever it was, I didn't want it. Based on he lying about that baby ain't none of his.
But don't try to neglect what a male.
She's not trying to neglect what a male is supposed to do. What they don't understand, and I'm 62, so what they don't understand is this. These baby boomers had their babies in the 80s. I know, because my first one was in 86. I was a late bloomer. 25, 26 had the child. So, baby boomers had their babies in the 80s. And they had to raise these children themselves. I had to raise my 3 kids myself, but I was fortunate enough to figure out how to find a husband. Now I know, but then again, you got to watch who you date. The 3 men I ever dated in my life were marriage material. They were providers. One my age, one 7 years younger than me, and one 15 years older than me. I had those 3 options to choose from. The first one wanted me to ask me to marry him. I changed my mind after 2 weeks because he didn't want me to meet his mama. And if you can't meet somebody's mama, I gotta do some research and I can't just marry you, don't know who the HU is. But he was a very good provider. I mean, he even got me a house, nice, a nice home, not too far from his mother off the road, basically how I grew up. But something that's telling me don't do it. And I see why I didn't do it. 36 years later. Then I got the other one, 15 years older. He was already done married and going through divorce and had a horrible divorce and everything that seemed crazy. Very wealthy man. And then the one husband I'm married to now, 7 years younger than me. So the thing about it is, but before I got married, I had one before I got married, and then I had that last 3 from the husband I'm with now. So my point is saying all this, but I was on my second child. I had already had the second child, and then we had the third child with him in the marriage. Point is saying all of this. I got married and had the third child, the last child in the marriage. But in saying all of this, baby boomers raised their own children because the men left. Why they left, I have no idea. Why they have relations with these girls in high school and say the baby ain't mine, I don't know. That is what happened. I don't know about the inner cities and all of that. All I know is what I see in the countryside, the sticks that I grew up in. The men said the baby weren't there. The men weren't there. So when these women out there getting a job, raising these kids, and for the most part, leaving them with their solid generation mothers. Because the baby boomer mothers had to still work after they raised them kids. So those kids will end up with their solid generation grandmothers. The grandmothers raised them. So those kids had a better chance. But them baby boomers' mamas gonna tell their kids, don't depend on no man. I know this because I grew up in the era. I was there. I'm still here. Don't depend on no man. Because you see the struggle I had to go through. So don't depend on a man. But you still looking for a man to provide. But don't depend on him. So because these kids heard this, what's happening? They get a job, make sure they good. But before they could get good, these men want to be all over these girls in high school, more so when I was in high school, because it wasn't that prevalent when I was in high school. It was like 1 or 2. I went to 2 high schools, so the other one was it was 2 girls there, 1 and 2 girls there. And then when I went to the last high school and graduated, I was back and forth between because my dad moved around. And there was 1 girl there. So it wasn't that prevalent in high school.
With a male?
For these girls to be pregnant. But the ones that did got pregnant, the men weren't there. And after they get out of high school, all they have these young babies and the men are not there. So the mama was saying, don't depend on no man, don't depend on no man. So these girls learn, go out there, get a job. Be able to take care of yourself, provide for yourself. And that's what these girls had to do. So they'll teach, so because their mothers are, because of the solid generation are teaching the baby boomers that, what's going down. You know the baby boomers going to teach the millennials that. The older millennials. Now I guess, especially the older millennials, they're going to teach them that don't depend on no man. They drill that. And if you what a man experience, I don't know. I only know what the women's side experience from the men. And the men know what they experience from the women. What they All the men got to do is go back and think about what their silent generation, baby boomers, daddies told them. Because I can tell you what the silent generation mama told me. And what I see other mamas tell their girls because of what I see going on. So I can't speak from that side as to why the men are where they are. I can only see from this end the results of the men not wanting to take care of the woman he married when he put that penis in there and created that baby. But back then, that was all marriage was. But anyway, it is what it is. That's how we got to this point. Now we are all the way down where we are. Well, most of in there, I skipped the Gen Xers, the baby boomers, and the Gen Xers. I'm married to a Gen Xer. So you got baby boomers and Gen Xers giving birth to the millennials. And then you have a lot of younger Gen Xers who's definitely told, don't depend on a man. And the men today are mad about this, but they don't see through the eyes of the women as to why the mothers tell their baby boomer, Gen Xer women do not depend on a man. And now these girls are speaking what they were taught. I don't need a man. I don't need to depend on a man. Because she don't. It's the absolute truth. She don't need to depend on a man because her mama taught her, don't depend on a man. Because he'll leave you and you be by yourself. And baby boomers and Gen X mothers, we do not feel like raising your children. We had to raise our own children. Not me so much, by ourselves. Literally by ourselves with no man caring. At least I had baby daddies that cared about their children. I only got 2 baby daddies. The very first one, my age. The second one, 7 years younger than me. The older man, I didn't have him. The 15-month older man, I didn't have no kids from him. We were just more so friends, a companion. He come to my house, he visit me, I go to his store, we sit and talk like that. It wasn't a sexual thing with us. But it is what it is.
Supposed to do. Women like, I can have a baby and I can provide for my own kids. I don't need no man.
And that's the absolute truth. Because of what her baby boomer grandparent, calling her how old the lady is, silent, the baby boomer parent, solid Gen X parents, is what they went through. That's what they were taught. There's a reason they were taught that, and that's the reason she's saying that. But men are getting upset as if they have no memory that the baby boomer men, Gen X men, left, said the baby not mine. The song came out, the Michael Jackson era, the kid ain't mine, the child ain't mine. That was full blown men not there for the kid. And the mama telling them, don't depend on the man. Don't depend on the man. Women taught their girls well, don't depend on a man. Now that we've gotten to this point, men are mad. You can't be mad at something you create.
Needed one to make one. You needed one to make one. So no matter how they try to ostracize a man, you need a man.
She don't need a man to provide for the baby. She don't need a man to provide for the baby. When you get together with a man and y'all have a kid and the man, for whatever reason, decide he's not going to be there, And I know there's situations where men want to be there. We're not talking about that collector. But when a man decides he don't want to be there for whatever reason, I've seen it with my own eyes. They put a baby there and they purposely go get a girlfriend and leave the woman while she's pregnant. I've seen this several times. So when a man decides for whatever reason he don't want to be there to support the girl, she right. She don't need a man to take care and provide for her child. When she's saying that, she's saying, look at what she's not saying. I need you to be there for the child. I don't need you to provide for the child. But you need to be there providing for your child. Because that's what men do. The woman says she don't need him to do it. But it's his responsibility to do it. Man, I'm not taking care of the child, ain't my kid. Oh, I don't need you to provide for my child. I can provide for my own child. Separate the child. But we get together, I still need you to come in and provide for the family. If you don't want to take care of the child, fine. When I married my husband, I didn't need him to provide for my son because I would take care of my own son. Because this father was paying child support. Even before he got put on child support, he was sending me money. I said I needed something even though he was in Germany and I'm here in the States. He sent money. What a child needs, he sent it. So a lot of times, women don't need a man to provide for the child. She either doing it herself because she was put in that situation where she has to, or the father is taking care of the child. Example, Kwame Brown. His baby mama got a husband, but she don't need her husband to provide for the child. You know why? Because Kwame Brown provides for his own child. So she don't need a man to do that. But she need a man because apparently her and Kwame Brown couldn't get along for whatever reason.
Ain't gonna like that line. But if it wasn't for a man, you wouldn't be here.
See, that's the thing. They're always deflecting. Instead of understanding what the woman is saying, well, you wouldn't be here if you didn't need one. If you didn't need a man. The bottom line is, it's not about getting here. It's about once you here.
If it wasn't for a woman, you wouldn't be here either. Correct. So, as you can see, they go together.
They go together and nothing is resolved. Okay. Now what?
Can't have one without the other. Right? It takes two to tango. The world has made it complicated for no reason.
No, man. Humans have made it complicated for no reason. By getting these girls pregnant and saying, the kid ain't mine. I ain't never been there. She a whore, she a this. How you gonna call a virgin a whore? When you the one running her down, chasing her, wanting it, and then and she feel like she love you, or you love her, or whatever. The bottom line is, people don't focus on the subject. The subject at hand is, if she already got a baby, and the man ain't there providing for the child, she right. She don't need him. She don't need a man to provide for her child. Because she already has to do that herself. But you want to come in and rule and run some of the child like this is yours. That's what the woman got a problem is. I got to take care of this full man woman all by myself. But you will come in here and tell me I need to sit down and listen to you. But you ain't want to take care of the child. In which none of that matters.
No reason at all. Making simple things complicated when they don't have to be. Now,
my thing with Casino is he don't have a wife. And I can sense why he don't have a wife. Well, first of all, he not gonna have no silly little woman. He's taking care of like a silly little woman. A lot of people don't have patience for silly girls, but he gonna take care of her, make sure she's good, and she gonna grow up into a full-blown woman and doing what these women do that he actually dates, successful women. The thing about it is, you're not gonna date a successful woman and think you're gonna marry her and she going to submit herself to getting on her knees and doing all of that. How's she gonna continue her own lifestyle business that she been doing before she got there? This thing of women submitting to men is crazy, because if a woman got to go out there and do what a man do to provide for herself and her child, those that have to, and then that's why a lot of women are not having children, and come in and lower herself to submit to a man or a man with imperfect behaviors, because everybody is perfect. Since we are all a piece of God, God is perfect. And we are a piece of God. And so that makes us perfect. But here on this earth, we got imperfect behaviors. And you cannot expect perfect woman who did what she needed to get where she needed to be to submit and lower herself to imperfect behaviors. Because she got them too. And all those imperfect behaviors just create imperfect situations. That in this case we live in now never gets better, because everybody is selfish. Everybody looking at, well, what about me?
That makes no sense to the outside world, but it definitely don't make sense to me. Why is this such a coinky-dink? Why is this such a trying question or something?
It's a trying question because if you live long enough, like me, I can remember, which I didn't grow up in cities or around a whole lot of people. We were basically grew up eating sticks among the white KKKs, and we were treated very well. But we didn't grow up that way. But in the country, going to schools, we see this. We're not in inner cities. To this day, I don't live in a city because I don't like. It's just something about cities I don't like. I live on the outskirts. Like my mama said, we were born in nature. Literally in the woods, you got to walk a mile to get to the next house. That's how we grew up. That's how we were raised. Therefore, we go to school and meet other people. I didn't understand people then, and I don't understand people now. But I'm beginning to understand life as I look back on the 60s up to now. Now, through my eyes, this is what I see. I'm an observer. I paid attention to what I see happening, and it's how I can understand how we got where Casino is. He's where he is because I don't know how the boys got to the place where you can put a baby in a virgin and say you never touched that girl. As soon as you put a baby in her, you don't want her no more. I don't understand how baby boomer boys got there. I don't understand how they got there. And they only could have seen this from their silent generation fathers. Because if you think about it, we are what we saw growing up. And everybody saw something different growing up. Now, those that saw something different growing up, they all get together with somebody else that saw something different growing up. Two separate species all together trying to come together and figure each other out. This species over here going through this. This species over here going through that. And you come together trying to figure this out. And then you create a whole new species that completely confused. Looking back at both of them, completely confused. I don't know what to do. But humans do what they do best. Blame the other person instead of seeing that, okay, we both in this boat, so we need to understand who we are and sit back and fix who we are by understanding who the other person is, by observing, reflecting on how did this person get here. And if I look back on it, how did the male species get where they are? They're from my beginning. Baby boomer father said, the kid ain't mine. Anyway, that's it for this video. You can go watch Casino on One Crack News at Men Should Be Able